Hello, my name is Raul Soriano and I am a nursing student at Eagle College, and today I'll be performing hand hygiene along with donning sterile gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. I'm going to have my wrist below my elbows and my fingers pointing down whenever I hand wash, and I'm going to turn on the faucet right now so that it is not too cold, not too hot, and just warm. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and begin by soaking my hands in water one by one like so. Make sure that the temperature is adequate. Keeping my fingers down, of course, and not touching the sink, making as little splashing as possible. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my antimicrobial soap, pump about 3 to 5 milliliters, and I'm gonna go ahead and lather my hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the palm and get the general areas. I'm gonna go ahead and get my thumb, like so. And then I'm gonna interlock my fingers, getting in between. I'll be doing this for about 20 seconds. I'd like to note that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the back of my hand along with my wrist, like so, making sure that my wrists are still below my elbow. And once 20 seconds has passed, I will be able to rinse this off. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off one by one, making sure all the soap has been rinsed out thoroughly without making any splashes whatsoever. I'm going to let the water run off my hands, thus my fingers are pointing downwards, like so. Okay. I'm going to gently tap it together, like so that I don't make any major splashes. Now I'm going to grab my one-time use paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and dab it on my skin until my hands are dry, like so. Making sure that all areas are dry. Now I'm going to grab another paper towel. I'm going to turn off the sink with it, like so. Now I'm going to put this into the proper receptacle, but for demonstration purpose, I'm going to be putting it to the side, right here. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and begin donning my sterile gloves. So let me go ahead and fix the camera. So with this, I have a large pair of gloves. It is very important to have the correct sizing, or else issues would occur. So I'm going to go ahead and gently open this package, like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the package, place this aside. I'm going to neatly unfold this onto the work surface. Okay. I make sure that I'm not touching the inside of the sterile field, which is where the blue gloves are. And there are margins here, 1-inch margins. That's where the non-sterile field is, so I'm able to interact with those with my hands. I'm going to go ahead and open them, making sure to not touch the inside. Gently open it, like so. Keeping in contact with that 1-inch margin, not touching the sterile field. Okay, now next I'm going to go ahead and grab my non-dominant hand, reaching over to my right side, which is my dominant hand, grabbing the inside of the cuff and not the outside of the glove. So once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and slide it on into my hand. Like so. gonna do this very slowly and carefully so that the cuff does not roll off. Now that I have it on, it is not rolled off all the way. There is space to where I can take it off later, but I'll be moving on to my next hand. I'll be grabbing with my middle and index finger. I'll be grabbing under the cuff. Make sure not to touch the inside, like so. I'm gonna raise it just for demonstration purposes like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and don my next hand. Can be tricky to find those holes, but of course, take your time. I'll be taking my time sliding this in, making sure that I don't come in contact with the inside of the glove with my other gloved hand, so I don't break any of the sterile field. Like so. With this, I also made sure that the wrist did not roll off like that. And it is also very important to have the correct size gloving. And now I'm gonna go ahead and have it adjusted to my fingers. And once it is adjusted, I am able to do my procedure, whatever procedure is required for sterile gloves. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And once I do, I'm gonna go ahead and knock and go into the patient's room, close the door, close the curtain for patient privacy, and state what I'm doing. And I'm gonna go ahead and once that is finished, I'm gonna go ahead and, before I leave the room actually, or once I do leave the room, I'm gonna go ahead and take off my gloves. So with that, I'm gonna be getting the center of my palm. I'll be grabbing that. I'll be pulling this out, turning it inside out. Also, I would like to point out that if I put my hands below my waist, it is considered non-sterile. So it is very important to keep it up for as long as you can, or for the whole duration. Moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and doff my sterile gloves, like how I mentioned earlier. Making sure not to tear it, and turning it inside out. And then I'm gonna grab these gloves, put it in my next hand, and then I'm gonna grab the inside wrist where it wasn't folded out. I'm gonna pull it inside out, like so. All right, now I'm gonna place this into the previously sterile field. I'm gonna close this up properly and neatly. I'm gonna take the package as well, and I'll be disposing this in the proper receptacle. And for demonstration purposes, it'll be at the side once more. And once I have thrown that away, disposed of it, I'm gonna go ahead and perform hand hygiene one more time, like so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and document what procedure was underwent. So with that, that concludes my skill, and have a good day.